the Declaration of Independence says, "Therefore, we, the representatives of the United States of America, having gathered at a General Congress, calling on the Almighty to confirm the honesty of our intentions, on behalf and on the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly record and declare that these united colonies are and rightfully should be free and independent states, that they are exempt from any dependence on the British Crown, and that all political ties between us and the British state must be completely severed, that as free and independent states, they have the authority to declare war, conclude peace treaties, enter into alliances, conduct trade, perform any other actions, and all that an independent state has the right to do. And with firm confidence in the protection of divine providence, we vow to each other to support this declaration with our lives, our wealth, and our unblemished honor." Among the authors and signatories of this important state document is the name of Benjamin Franklin, the only one of the founding fathers who signed both the U.S. Constitution and the Versailles Peace Treaty of 1783. On January 17, 1706, a boy named Benjamin was born on Milk Street in Boston. His father, Josiah Franklin, owned a workshop for the production of soap and candles. The Franklin family was huge. His first wife, Anna, gave birth to 7 children. Josiah, and his second wife, Abia Folger, had 10 children. Ben was one of them. The large family made it difficult for a simple craftsman to have money, so Benjamin received most of his education on his own. Reading books was his favorite activity. He went to college, of course, but he spent most of his time in the shop making soap. But at the age of 12, he was already working in the printing house of his older brother James as an apprentice. The teenager showed an early craving for writing. He began writing ballads. One day, his brother announced that he was starting to publish his newspaper, the New England Courant, and Ben knew that neither his brother nor his father would allow a 16-year-old boy to write notes for her. But Benjamin found a way out of this impasse. At night, he wrote letters to the editor, which he signed with the pseudonym Mrs. Silence Dogood, a middle-aged widow, and in the morning he slipped what he had written under the door of the editorial office. In these notes, young Ben Franklin gave advice to readers, joked about life in the city, and talked about the life of a lonely, but not an old widow. Silence Dogood's letters were a success, but Ben couldn't contain his vanity and confessed to the authorship. After a major scandal, Benjamin found himself out of work. His older brother kicked him out of the printing house. Offended by this attitude of his relatives, Ben Franklin fled to Philadelphia, where he also got a job at a printing company. Here he will meet his future wife Deborah Reed and even rent a room in her parents' house. From 1724 to 1726, he lived in London, where he improved his skills in printing, read a lot, learned the basics of journalism, and had fun with young English women. Upon his return to Philadelphia, Ben opened his own printing house and began publishing the Pennsylvania Gazette in 1729, and Poor Richard's Almanac in 1732, an annual publication that was very popular with readers. According to legend, Richard needed money for his sick wife, and the almanac gave him and all readers life advice. Not only Franklin's own works were published here, but also articles by Rabelais, Swift, La Rochefoucauld, and other writers. The topics ranged from philosophy to agriculture. It was in the yearbook that such sayings first appeared. Remember that time is money, trust in God, but do not be bad yourself, the author of which was Benjamin Franklin. The almanac has been published for 25 years. The newspaper was printed until 1748. The Leather Apron Club, or Junto, became a great help to the almanac, a discussion association that became the American Philosophical Society in 1743. In addition to organizing the society, Benjamin Franklin opened the first public library in the United States and the Philadelphia Academy, now the University of Pennsylvania, in 1731. According to his idea, permanent street cleaning will be organized, a volunteer fire brigade will be recruited, and a school for black children will be opened. Since 1730, Franklin has been living in a civil marriage with the well-known Deborah Reed, but later they officially became husband and wife. In addition to one adopted child, who was Benjamin's illegitimate son, 2 more children were born in the family. By the way, problems with the oldest son William will arise much later, when they will be on opposite sides of the barricade. William will remain loyal to the English crown. The Junto Club met on Fridays at a Philadelphia pub. According to the rules proposed by B. Franklin, each participant read out a short essay on politics, morality, or philosophy. This speech was discussed, but without mutual accusations, in a light, relaxed atmosphere. In addition, Franklin worked a lot in science and in a variety of fields. He studied foreign languages and became interested in electricity in 1746. In particular, he introduced the designation of electric charges with the signs plus and, developed a lightning rod project, and put forward the idea of an electric motor. In addition, in 1784, Franklin invented bifocals, patented a rocking chair of his own design, and invented a small oven for heating the house. Ben Franklin participated in measuring the speed of the Gulf Stream, its width and depth, and he also gave the current its name. Ben Franklin was elected to many scientific academies of the world, including the Russian Academy of Sciences in 1789. The activities of the publisher and organizer of several socially significant institutions willy-nilly led Benjamin Franklin into politics. At first, he sided with England on the independence of the colonies, but then changed his point of view. In 1776, he was sent as ambassador to France, where he sought an alliance against England. In 1778, in Paris, he became a master of the famous Nine Sisters Masonic Lodge, and a year later he was elected Venerable Master. It should be noted that the masters of this lodge were the philosopher Voltaire, the sculptor J. Houghton, artist J. B. Grez, writer J. Marmontel, politician J. Guillotine, and many others. From Freemasonry, Franklin brought to politics the ideas of universal human rights, such as equality and freedom. He was a proponent of universal suffrage and an opponent of slavery. Benjamin Franklin spent the last years of his life at his home on Market Street. His daughter Sarah, her husband, and 6 children were with him. The founding father of the United States died in 1790. Every day for 50 years, Benjamin Franklin repeated the same prayer. "Oh, Almighty God, generous Father, merciful Mentor, strengthen in me the wisdom that would reveal the truth to me. Strengthen my resolve to do what is dictated by this wisdom. Accept my sincere actions aimed at your children as my only reward for your tireless care for me."